Hey, this is day 5. Whoa. Like, it's amazing. It's amazing how we started this journey a few days ago. And, even me, I'm beginning to learn a lot of things, okay, about this journey. When we started off, I'm sure a lot of people were wondering what else will he be sharing. Well, this is going to be going on for the next 15 other days plus one, and you can be rest assured that every day is going to be fresh insights, information, and instructions to probably just help you to keep your marriage. For those that are joining marriages, it just helps you to get prepared. For men that are already in it helps you to redefine yourself. And for the women that love them, you just probably drop in a conversation around this. And this day 5, I haven't gone ahead to say, look, can we win this battle over social media, over all of the auto-suggestion, negative programming, distractions, temptations, okay, all of those things, and then even the psychological implications of the device or the platforms. Today, we are going to be taking this another notch higher, okay, and we're going to be talking about that one thing men do on their phone that breaks trust. Yeah, so we had established, other than trust, other than love, other than every other thing that you might consider, what was intrinsic to any lasting relationship was commitment. But we also soon realized that yes, even though commitment is key, but trust is also pivotal. Okay, and without trust, you probably just won't be able to stay secure within your relationship. And this is one of the things that we're going to be moving on today, and to say, look, we just must now become mindful. Yesterday I was joking about this thing that's caught on the trend as to being mindful, being demure, and one of those things. Well, I'm saying truly, you must be mindful. So today we're going to be talking about a common issue that silently, erodes trust in relationships, and that one thing is that thing that men do on their phone that can destroy their marriages. And why is this important? I recall starting young into my marriage. Maybe I was ill-advised, but one of the things I decided to do was to lock up my phone. And then as the technology of the phones advanced, the gadget also got locked up. So it was almost like, what are you hiding? What are you hiding? But yeah, I think that there must just be a reorientation as to some of the things that needs to happen to begin to build trust and to help this journey of commitment become more instructive. Okay, and if you are joining me, it would be nice to just have you share your own thoughts. Some people say, oh, my wife and I, we use the same phone. Well, or some people will say, oh, I don't lock my phone. Okay, but there are also security issues around having to have your phone locked, just to also ensure that you limit access, right? But should you limit that access to your spouse? We had a family friend of ours. Unfortunately, she lost her husband, and everything that they needed to know about him was on that phone. Well, guess what happened? There was really no how to unbundle some of those facts, down to his account details, down to everything that they needed to know. They had to keep scrambling, okay, because he did everything on his phone. So we must begin to frown at this secretive phone behavior. Somebody say, which one is secretive phone? Yes, there's the behavior that is secretive now, and this behavior is such that it's going to decimate, or most likely cannibalize your relationship. And this phone behavior is one of the things I'm going to be talking to men, real men, on this call, because it's a function of that as men or as women, often this behavior it kind of breaks trust in relationship when we start to hide conversations. So if you live a life that everything is a secret, when you are constantly hiding conversations, or you have to now there's this thing now called disappearing mode, where at every minute you can put your messages to disappear. The question is what are you hiding? what are you hiding? Okay, and from my own point of view, I hope that those that are coming up will learn, because some of us had probably broken that trust, and we have betrayed that trust. Okay, so I'm not talking from a point where I'm saying, oh, you should be doing this. I'm saying that from an informed point of view, if I've nurtured myself to be open, to be more accessible, to stop hiding conversations, maybe somehow it would have been a better opportunity to take these conversations further. Well, what then can we say? I can say without a doubt that we should refrain from the point where you are hiding your conversations. Okay, deleting messages, hiding certain messages or conversation, whether with a friend, a colleague, or an ex-partner, could cause the partner to feel suspicious. And if the conversations themselves are innocent, the act of hiding them signals the lack of transparency, which undermines trust. So we're saying be open, be transparent. Secrecy on your phone, even when it's harmless, creates distrust. So it's okay, and you just want to be able to converse with your partner, with your spouse. People have even taken this further. And I can understand where people now go to dark webs or use private browsing apps, incognito mode, to keep certain activities hidden from their partners. You begin to ask, what is going on? And this is some of the things that get influenced by this social media. Oh, don't let him track you. Even what led to tracking? You have instances where spouses are now conscious and wary of being tracked. No, but if you're not doing anything illicit, then why are you worried about being tracked? So all of these things, tends to diminish trust to the point where the level of secrecy can create huge breaches in trust, as it raises questions about what is being concealed. Because you can't say two of you are one and all over you guys are living separate lives. I dare say that a lot of marriages today exist as a cover, but the couples are somewhat estranged, because a lot of things are going wrong. So I say, look, if you are in that bandwagon, please don't get yourself screwed. Just start to be open, and if you just get into the relationship, start practicing it now. Some people will laugh and say, hey, what's going on? You're using private browsing or apps. Some people get into flirtatious moments or inappropriate messaging, but the issue is, can we get things going? Engaging in flirtatious or emotionally inappropriate conversations, even if they don't cross the line, is physical cheating, can really hurt a relationship. Imagine your spouse bombs on your phone, and then the next thing the message pops up that says, honey, I've missed you, I hope you're not with that your wife. It can just lead to some kind of bruises, okay, emotional bruises. And even on the side of the female, there's a lot of emotional infidelity. And this is so real. It starts with seemingly harmless conversations. You're flirting with A is responding back, and then this progresses on, and then it snowballs into something, and then you guys can't control it anymore. Or do you get into that mode where you're constantly checking and guarding your phone? What are you hiding? What are you hiding? You put padlock, you put password, you put metal lock, you put another lock, you put a barricade, you now wind it and put another lock, you put eye lock, you put iris lock, you put lip lock and finger lock. Calm down. And as I'm saying this, I'm also laughing at myself, because at some point in my life, that was like, as technology grew, I'm like, have you seen this feature? Why are you not using this feature? So these are some of the things that undermines our marriages, or undermines trust, and just gets things in the wrong mode. So the secrecy, on the phone erodes trust. And I cannot overemphasize that. It breaks down every form of respect. It leads to breakdown of transparency. Trust is built on openness and honesty. So when one partner starts to hide things, it creates a barrier of secrecy, which leads to suspicion. Even if nothing inappropriate is happening, secrecy can also lead the other partner to question the integrity of the relationship. Another thing that happens, why secrecy on the phone erodes trust, is that they are constantly creating emotional distance. So when there's emotional distance, there's also there's this lacuna that takes place in the mind, where you start to hide things on the phone, like conversations, like activities, and it can make your partner feel excluded or disconnected. In fact, it could also set, if your companion or spouse has some form of esteem issues, you probably just start to bruise her or him at that level. So over time, this emotional distance can grow, leading to greater issues in the marriage. So I always say, look, secrecy creates emotional distance in relationship. So if you are secret, the place to be is not in a wedding, or in a marriage rather. It's not in a marriage. Secrecy is not, it creates emotional distance in marriages, and it's just not the place to be. So it breaks down transparency, emotional distance, and then there's also this perception of betrayal. How do you reconcile you are eating, living, sleeping with someone, you trust that person to do every other thing, but you cannot trust your spouse with your phone? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, this is sickening. Okay, somebody says, what are you hiding? Somebody says, what are you hiding? What are you hiding? And these questions, are things that you begin to ask yourself, what is really going on? What is really going on? So there's this betrayal of trust. There's a betrayal of trust. There's that thing that you just begin to feel that something else is going on. You could even start to imagine things. Okay, and the way the world is wired now, a couple of things are happening that even spouses have become greater suspects. So with the avalanche of distractions, with negative news everywhere, all kinds of stuff, you soon realize that, hey, being secretive, can be inimical to the interactions and would also make your other partner feel betrayed. Okay, so there's this story of a friend of ours. I call him Femi, and his wife confronted him about some deleted messages, and they had an open conversation about the feelings of distrust. Right? Femi didn't realize how these secretive phone habits had been affecting his wife. From that moment on, he made a conscious effort to be more transparent. Well, what did they do? They had to set new boundaries and expectations for phone use in their marriage. So there was the thing around leaving phones out in the open, sharing messages freely, avoiding private or secretive apps, and slowly trust started to come in, and they had to build message. Now, if you're a spouse and you're afraid to pick a phone call in front of your partner, well, I think you people are living a fake life. And it's all about being real. The moment you take the reality of being real out of every relationship, is that falsehood. And once you have that, then that structure has somewhat been decimated and desecrated. Okay, so how do you avoid this secretive phone behavior? Okay, I'm sure people are asking, okay, this behavior now. Yeah, we talked about it. Okay, now we want to stop. Okay, how do we stop? I will be sharing my own thoughts as to how best you can. So be transparent with your phone. Openness is key. And if there's nothing to hide, then it's important to show that there's nothing to hide. This doesn't mean your partner has to go through your phone constantly, but by being open and to open all the messages and activities show distrust. But you know what? You just must be transparent. Okay, trust each other, and trust grows with openness. I recall a time when I had some unusual engagements on my phone, and my wife would occasionally go and snoop there. Well, she was one that went to find what she shouldn't go and find, and she ended up crying in a way. Well, I apologize sincerely for that. I probably have caused her some trauma, but I'm not saying what are you even looking for. Waiting you they look for. And you, that's what are you hiding? So it's a chicken egg scenario. What are you looking for? And then you, what are you hiding? Whoever is looking for something, what are you looking for? Whoever is hiding, what are you hiding? So ask yourself, are you the lookie or the ID? Anyway, pardon me, I just needed to create some joke around that. But truly, you can't but be transparent with your phone. Another thing is that you must avoid deleting messages. So you can imagine you constantly are deleting messages, and you feel the need to delete a conversation. But you young people, stop. Me now, we're 20 years married, we have gone past all of those things. Now I'll just be looking at them, you can be looking at me, but it can create, it can just create cracks. And these cracks, if not properly managed, can be inimical to the growth and sustainability of your relationship. So avoid deleting those messages. And if you have it, hide it. It's time to ask why. Why are you hiding? Set boundaries also for online interactions. You see, if you cannot give what do I say now? If you cannot set boundaries, yesterday on that episode as to who is winning the war, we talked about setting boundaries. Now, if you cannot set boundaries as to how and who has access to you, that people have access to you at every point in time. See, I can tell you have no grip over your life. And I am not apologetic about that. I'm just telling you the truth. That you cannot control at what time people will call you or who has control over you. And then they constantly have access to you, then there's something wrong with you. Okay? So, guys, you must get to the point as you set boundaries on online interactions. Can we begin to have what we call talks about trust regularly? Explain, discuss, highlight some of those challenges. Whatever surfaces in the course of the day, share with your spouse. Stop being secretive, and I can tell you are on for something. So talk about trust regularly. Now, I always like to bring 2 dimensions or 3 or perspectives to some of these issues, so that there's some science that guides some of my perspectives. Remember, these are some of the things I've learned over time. Some of them have made errors, and they've probably created cracks probably also have great eroded trust. But I kind of balance it psychologically and using the biblical perspective. So what's the psychological impact, of secretive phone behavior? Almost like we spoke about some of these things yesterday, one of the things that I realized is that it increases anxiety and insecurity. That means you're constantly hiding. And that with perpetually hiding things, then you also just become insecure. And you can also, almost exude that fear. And once you start to exude that level of distrust, you start to, affect your relationship. Okay, so that natural flow begins to dwindle to the point where it's numb. And once it becomes numb, it takes a whole lot to get it revived. Okay, so can we not just rock that boat? Can we not just rock that boat? And then there's paranoia and overthinking. So, there's something about secretive behavior. It causes the other partner to overthink, and they're also saying, oh man, I think I've been betrayed, or he doesn't like me anymore, or she doesn't like me anymore, even if there was nothing to be worried about, okay? So they start to check for signs of betrayal. Now, imagine all of those things on social media, when they start to say, oh, if your spouse starts to behave like this, be wary, something is going on. So you see, they're getting insights, auto suggestions about several things. Now, and you start to act in that order. Then your partner becomes paranoid, and then they start to overthink what does not even exist. Okay, so secrecy on your phone leads to unnecessary paranoia. All right, to the point where people are overthinking. Imagine, just be open. Which one is pepper them? Which one is, just calm down. Okay, and get things going. Another thing that happens, which I'm going to be focusing on today, is emotional disconnection. I can't overemphasize this thing about emotional disconnection to the extent where, this act of hiding things, whether big or small, creates emotional barriers. And the spouse who is being kept in the dark often feels isolated, causing emotional disconnection that slowly erodes the relationship. Now, I all of these things I've shared with you is backed by science, and this is the psychological perspective. So now let's even start to go to the biblical perspective on trust and openness. Okay, if you are in a relationship, Ephesians 4:25 says, we are called to put off falsehood and speak truthfully to our neighbors. Okay, and your neighbor applies to those you relate with, your spouse, as much as in your marriage. Okay, so secrecy kind of creates division, but openness fosters unity and trust. Whether at home, whether in your business, whether with your partners, whatever it is, in marriage, being open with one another, especially with technology and communication, reinforces the bond that holds couples together. I dare say that trust is a fundamental part of a healthy relationship. And transparency is the key to nurturing. So yes, we remember we said there's the need for commitment. When we started to say the secret weapon for relationships in this time is commitment. But we're also saying that one of the things that makes your relationship healthy is trust. Okay, but much more than trust, there's a way you can nurture and water your relationship, and it's about being transparent. Okay, and so that's what the biblical perspective to this is saying, that exude trust, be open against all odds. Okay, I don't look out. I'm sure you're all just wondering, hey, wow, this man has just been talking on this matter. Well, anyway, I'm going to be resting my mic shortly, and it's just important to just share some of these thoughts and hope that it will help us as men, okay, redefine masculinity today, so that we can also become vulnerable, and we also can also begin to live life and to the fullest. And look, beware of this thing that we've made an error, let's keep the error going. No, it's about redressing some of these issues, having an open conversation and discussion with your spouse, and then maybe somehow having to unlearn these things and then set clear boundaries. And as we begin to try we begin to build trust. As we begin to try, we begin to build trust. Ladies and gentlemen, particularly the ladies that love their men, today, I will not keep you longer, and I just want to reiterate that, secretive behavior on the phone may seem harmless at first, but over time, it's definitely going to erode trust and intimacy in your marriage. So be open, set clear boundaries, okay, and constantly communicate with each other about trust, about the essential steps, what is needed, about what is happening, who is talking to you, who are you talking with, okay, what are the new things around your life, okay, just so as to protect your relationship from the damaging effects of secrecy. Guys, I believe this is sufficient and can get us coasting as we redefine masculinity today. I hope to see you tomorrow, and tomorrow promises to be even a more stirring, mind-boggling, table shaking session. Okay, and tomorrow we're going to be talking about being aware to beware. Emotional intelligence is that superpower, okay, that every man needs in their marriage. So join us tomorrow, day 6, where we're going to be talking about emotional intelligence, okay, emotional intelligence. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about emotional intelligence. So please sign up, subscribe, and please share if you think this truly makes sense. It will also be nice for you to drop a comment if you can, as what you think and what you'd like us to discuss in the coming days. On this note, I'd like to say thank you and see you tomorrow. Ciao.